But they had like this sneaky game that kind of came out. It was like Disney's Dreamlight Valley.
Goofy's Thick.
Yeah.
They took Mario's ass and gave it to Goofy.
yeah, they did.
Welcome to the Nerd News Podcast, starring Tyson Cox and Tyler Waltz.
I love that theme.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
Such
phenomenal.
a good, got me hyped up to say something along the lines of like, welcome back to Nerd News. I am your host, Tyson Cox, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host,
Tyler Waltz.
Got me pumped to say that.
Yeah.
That's what that song did. And
Yeah,
that was
it's a great song.
That was Defense Mechanism. The song was called Beat Juice. Check out his whole work. He is great.
Phenomenal.
How was your week? We're on episode 22.
Yeah, 22. It's been good. I did my show in Anderson. That was really fun with Uncle Buck's house.
Ooh, I love UBH.
Yes, very fun. Dyke Michaels, Lucas Waterfill, phenomenal show, super fun. And then I was back on the dog show, raising money for pups.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. Good. Well, I'm on a string of shows that could have been more fun.
Yeah.
I did have some fun. Like I was in the middle of my set, and I turn and I look, and there's just a dead cockroach on the stage.
That's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Well, at least you knew that they provided food.
And then I had a lady, a juggalette, offer instead of paying money for my koozie to show me her breasts.
Yeah.
I was no, they're more expensive now actually.
Yeah. Right.
So that's where my career's at. So,
Sorry, but your value per nipple is lower than that of
the
a
USD. Oh man, I was afraid her boobs were also gonna have bad teeth. Anyways,
Unlike currency, not inflated.
this is a weird start. Hey, I want to give a quick update to all the nerds out there. We're doing pretty good. We're doing all right. We got 30,000 followers on TikTok. We got 380 on YouTube. So we're on the up and up. So follow us, like, subscribe. We're on all the stuff: Facebook, Instagram,
And thank you all that are already here.
Yeah,
I really
you guys are
appreciate you.
fantastic. Thank you so much. So I guess we should probably just get into some news then.
Yeah, probably.
Let's start with the old since it's spooky season.
Yep.
And we got a special. Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, and we watched it literally right before hitting record.
It was
Yeah. And so if you listen to our previous episodes, when we were speculating about what this was going to be, Tyson and I had two very distinct opinions where we were kind of on opposite ends of the fence.
Yeah.
I said that it was going to be a tacky attempt to recreate something that was just going to come off as bad and tacky.
Yeah. I said it was going to be good because it seemed to have like the heart of it. It was. I think it actually it held pretty well. I was honestly expecting a little bit more camp. A little bit more campy to it.
I got you. Yeah, if I was 0 and you were 100, I would say we ended it probably about a 70.
Yeah, 70, 75. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was great.
Perks, it was 54 minutes.
Yeah, it was great.
Good.
It made me realize more movies need to just do that.
Yeah.
Like you could have a really good 50 or you could have a really good 40 and 50 minutes of filler.
Yeah, not every movie needs to be 3 hours long. Not every movie needs to make everything be like you question your reality. Right. Sometimes it's fun to sit down and go, oh, there's the good guys. There's the bad guys. Punch them up, dudes. Let's go.
Yeah, and it was great. Man-Thing, extraordinarily fun.
Very fun.
Good twist, very early. Let's just do a quick pros and cons.
Yeah, we'll do it in spoiler-free. We'll keep it spoiler-free.
Yeah. Pros, black and white, great move.
That was a good call.
Good move.
Good call.
Arguably what saved a lot of the movie.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen the Addams Family's like color photos of the Addams Family set?
Yeah.
It would be
weird.
a terrible show.
It would have been awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pros, black and white, amazing. Short run time, definitely in its favor.
Some of the fights and the kills,
Great.
really good. Did not anticipate that from Disney. There's blood, but I think they got away with it because it was
black and white.
black and white.
They went way hard with it.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate.
It was like above like a John Wick shooter, which is just splatters, but below a Tarantino just blood spray. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was good. Solid story from beginning to end. Very comprehensive. Very A to B. We know who the good is. Kind of like
you learn, you pick, you choose, and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah,
people's motives are clear.
Very clear.
And like it's not a spoiler when you watch the trailer and watch a thing called Werewolf by Night. You're like, I wonder who
the werewolf is.
Who's the werewolf?
Yeah. Cons. I think we might differ a little bit here.
Yeah.
I think the big reveal happened too soon. That was my big one.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah,
you thought it was just
I think for what it was good.
Okay, cool. And then the second one I think we agree on, I liked the carnage of the fights, but there were times where it hybridized with like actual fighting that felt awkward.
Yeah, so let's go back to the one you just said, the
big reveal.
The big reveal. Like I think if we pushed it any further, it would start to get into that like we're adding time before the reveal.
So we can talk about it without spoiling what it necessarily is.
Yeah.
What big reveal are you talking about? Who the werewolf is?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the misdirect that they did.
Oh, no, that's still fine.
You still think that's all right?
He's not the main. That's not the main point.
I guess that's true.
You know, that's just a fun. Again, that's just set up. Again, I really enjoyed how they're just like bop 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 bop. We're doing it. We don't need to go back and see how they grew up as children.
Yeah.
And then they got their ice cream stolen, and then that's why I'm the mean hunter because a vampire knocked my ice cream out of my hand. Like.
Well, it did what a lot of older movies do is they have one or two lines of dialogue that fill you in as much as you need to know, and then you can kind of wander from there.
Yeah.
Like at the very beginning of the movie where, and I cannot remember her name. Cause there was the main guy and the main girl. I can't remember either of their names right now.
Not Jessica Jones.
Right, yeah, not Jessica Jones. And John? Was his name John?
They did say, John.
Okay.
I just thought of him as not Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
So everyone in that movie was not somebody else.
Yeah.
Like the Irish guy was not Jack Black's dad.
Right. But in the initial meeting, right off the top, it's not really a spoiler. It's just scene setting. They make John seem like the big tough guy.
Yeah.
And then she was a disappointment to the family for unknown reasons.
Yep.
Roll the movie.
Yeah, there you go.
It was on. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was almost like the scene in Half Baked when the guy's like, F you, F you, F you, you're cool, F you. Like, it was kind of like that. It was like, it's like, I'm going to be a villain later. Hi, nice to meet you. Like, oh, cool, nice.
Yeah, no, it was good. But yeah, I mean, overall, just a solid movie.
Yeah. Well, it's special. I was wondering why they called it a special and not a movie, and I'm pretty sure it's the runtime.
Yeah.
Longer than an episode, shorter than a movie.
Yeah, which I remember when movies generally were an hour.
60, 70 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's hour and a half minimum.
Yeah, 90 minutes. You got a 110-page script, dude.
Right.
People will get that script, weigh it in their hand, and go, nah.
It's weird.
Nuts.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah. And you wanted to hate it, too.
I
that
did.
was the other thing, too.
I fall into the category of person that thinks Disney is pretty horrible and evil. And I will do everything in my power to not help Disney.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with how much stuff they have, eventually they're going to do something good. This was definitely an example of like, I want to hate Disney, but I'll give them this win. I will give them this win because it was that good.
Werewolf by Night feels like they didn't have. They're like, hey, oh, by the way, it's coming out next month. We didn't care. We let it. And it's like, oh, you let them do what they wanted.
Yep.
You gave them parameters.
Exactly.
You can do what you wanted.
You could tell that it was a story that they were like, sure, we can do this story.
Yeah.
It doesn't connect to our big vision of like the MCU or like what happens with Star Wars where it gets bogged down, and they just let an art piece happen.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah. One complaint. So you had pros and cons. I agreed mainly with all your stuff. One of my cons was so it was like in a big manor, big spooky manor, got stuff on the wall, heads on the walls, big carpets, ooh, it's creepy.
Yeah.
And then all the guards were in like Halo ODST modern armor. Like they even had like the knife on the shoulder that you like shink and like all right, you borrowed that from what? Starship Troopers?
Yeah, no, some of the prop choices in general were weird. Like when they zoomed in, you could really tell.
Yeah.
There were two things that we pointed out immediately. Is there was an axe that was like a focal point of the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
because it was kind of trading hands and fights and stuff.
Which that's the slipperiest axe I've ever seen.
They drop it like 100 times.
You get one swing.
Yeah, and then it's on the ground.
Whoop.
They all rolled net ones.
Yeah. Oh no, it was great because like someone got hit with it and they were like, "Ooh, there it is."
There it is. Yeah. So the axe.
Yeah.
It was cool, and then when they zoomed in, there's like a behind like over the shoulder shot. It looks like the molded foam. Like,
Yeah.
To the 10th.
100%.
It was shock. It took me out of it for a second.
I'm pretty sure you could have bought it at Gen Con.
Yeah, 100%. And then there's a part, and it's in the trailer, so
Which
it's not a spoiler.
I'm not disparaging the Gen Con axes. Those are great cosplay axes,
Right.
but not for a movie.
It's not
from Disney.
Yeah, it's not a Disney budget axe. And then the second one is, and it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, the cage that she ends up in.
Yeah.
There's a close-in zoom up of that cage that
Yeah.
very much looks like painted foam as well.
Yeah.
But there were a couple little things like that. And it's weird because there's like a little crossbow mechanism.
Yeah.
Looked great.
Oh,
that one
fantastic,
looked amazing. So it was kind of like
They got it at a different booth.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so overall, I would highly recommend watching it. And it's weird because Disney, in my opinion, hasn't been pumping out much good stuff. They've
been pumping out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, quantity over quality for sure. But they had like this sneaky game that kind of came out. It was like Disney's Dreamlight Valley, and my girlfriend.
Oh
and I,
right, yeah.
yeah. My girlfriend
Goofy's
and I.
thick.
Yeah.
They took Mario's ass and gave it to Goofy.
yeah, they did. But Macy and I really like Stardew Valley type games, so we got it, and it's really good.
Yeah, he liked the idea of owning property, having a farm, being self-suspicious.
Suspicious.
Yep.
Self-sustaining?
Self-sustaining?
Yeah, self-sustaining. But yeah, so like they've got good things. I just hate that you have to peel away so many layers of bad to get some good.
Yeah. But sometimes it's the question of like, is this for you? Most of the time, yeah, you are part of the target audience, and sometimes it's just bad. But sometimes it's not for you, but yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think that wraps up pretty much what we were wanting to talk about Disney.
Sure, yeah.
What else are you thinking?
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of good stuff.
Yep.
I brought up Chris Pratt, or I brought up Mario. Chris Pratt, the trailer on that looked super good.
It did, but there's definitely some things to point out, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the beginning, everything with Bowser and the penguins.
Oh, looks so good.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I adored that.
Yeah.
It was so funny. The penguins were amazing.
So cute. I'll say it.
Oh, what's her name? Or not her name, his name. Something Perry. The voice of King Penguin is Cyborg from Teen Titans.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's great.
Also Ezekiel from The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He had a great, like, do you yield?
No, it's amazing. He's got such a good voice.
Little tiny body.
Yeah. And like that whole scene was amazing. Once it cut over to Mario, I was like it's just some of the things got pointed out. Like,
Yeah.
I love Chris Pratt. Still don't think Mario's going to be good for him.
No, because I don't understand what, like, they hired Chris, like, so I really like what they did with Rocket Raccoon, Bradley Cooper, because the director was like, we hired Bradley Cooper and he doesn't even sound like Bradley, why would we hire him? And then the guy was like, well, because Bradley Cooper's an actor.
Yeah.
He's acting as that. And the guy was like, oh yeah, it's a good point.
Well,
And then Chris Pratt's just like, it's a me, Chris Pratt.
yeah. Right. Well,
Chris Prattio.
He tried to put a vague Mario.
It's me, pasta spaghetti.
Yeah, right. Like, it was, you could tell that he tried to do an Italian accent without getting too stereotypical.
Yeah. Have you met me? Have you met my brother, lasagna chest hair?
Right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it was fine. I thought Toad was funny.
Keegan-Michael Pete.
Yeah.
Great. Didn't know it was him. That's another good sign of a voice actor when you're like,
Up until the yell or like the big victorious like wah that Bowser does, couldn't tell it was Jack Black.
Yeah. So there is fun little thing like I think they gave him a bit of Jack Black's facial expressions too, which are like, I'm like, that's
I love when animation does that. I'm a big fan.
Like that.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. But it can also go very bad as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think the most memed on movie for trying to make the animated characters look like the people was Shark Tale with Will Smith.
Oh,
with all the fish.
Yeah.
Because they all just looked atrocious.
Yeah, I never saw it.
It was. I was a kid when that movie came out, so
Yeah.
I saw it. But oh my gosh, it was rough.
I was already, like 42?
Probably. Yeah, right.
My hairline was, shit, chow, take that, me.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so I think it looks great. I'm optimistic. I do think Nintendo is going to be able to do a better job at these adaptations than a lot of what Disney's been able to do.
Yeah.
I have more confidence in this than a lot of Disney stuff.
You were telling me that Nintendo bought a studio.
Yeah,
right?
they bought a studio specifically to start adapting their IPs.
That's great. I think that'll be very good.
I think they're trying to be Disney. I think they are looking at Disney and being like, oh, Disney used to make animated cartoons, but then they got Star Wars and they got Marvel, and now they can do things with these IPs, and they got the video games and they've got this and that.
Yeah.
Nintendo's like, well, we're just starting with the video games, not the animated stuff.
Yeah.
So why can't we just take our good stories and start adapting them rather than just selling the rights to adapt it and getting crappy movies?
Exactly.
So I think they're going to do a good job.
And Nintendo knows how to transfer too. Like they start out doing playing cards.
Yeah.
And then like even with their console stuff, every time they change the console, they innovate it in some way or the other. And most of the time, pretty good call.
Yeah. Most of the time.
My only worry
I think
is
the Wii U was the only bad call.
yeah. My only worry is like a Zelda movie, because
Yeah,
you
he's a silent
can't.
protagonist.
Yeah, but I hope they do it like kind of like Wally's Wonderland, where he doesn't say anything the whole movie.
Yeah. For
Just-
which movie you said?
Wally's Wonderland, Nicolas
Yeah,
Cage.
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't say a single word the whole movie,
Yeah.
but it worked.
Yeah, it did.
I think they could do that for a Zelda movie.
I think they could too. I hope it's like the animated series that they tried to do.
I don't think I saw that.
You don't? It was meme worthy bad. Like
Okay.
the line that everybody took from it was "Excuse me, princess." And it's like this huge, overly exaggerated thing.
I have seen the thing where he throws a bomb down and he jumps on a shield and explodes himself over the castle like into the distance. Physics.
But yeah, no, that's what happens though when you take on the ability to adapt your own stuff.
Yeah.
Because like Nintendo was always video games. So if we got a Nintendo IP as a movie, you paid a studio to adapt it.
Yeah.
And
Or a
that's how you-
studio bought.
the rights to
Yeah.
use it. Yeah. So I have a lot more faith in Nintendo. I don't think they're the best, but when it comes to morality as a company, I would put Nintendo over Disney. I know Nintendo kind of hates their own audience. I don't know if you know much
What?
about that.
No.
So Nintendo is very bad when it comes to content creators. They are very much like, hey, by playing our game, you're giving away story details.
That's right,
And you
yeah.
get flagged.
Yeah.
They're not good with that. But outside of that, I think that they are a more have it together in a non-deliberately evil way than Disney.
I don't like it. I'm so used to deliberately evil.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a big corporation, so
Yeah.
you take everything with a big grain of,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm optimistic about the Mario movie. We didn't really get to see much of Luigi,
No.
and I'm excited for Charlie Day.
I would love it if this is successful and you get like a Luigi's Mansion movie.
yeah, that would be great.
Because there are good storylines within it, and it's a lighthearted thing. It's not where like Marvel or DC are trying to be like, hey, we're trying to make a movie.
Yeah. I'm curious what will fall under a Nintendo, because everything is a cinematic universe now. There's no such thing as a movie.
Yeah.
So how far is this going to go? Is this going to be like Mario and then Zelda, and then we're going to get like some kind of crossover, and then Kirby's going to show up, and this and that? Like, is it going to be a Nintendo
Paperboy, my dude,
cinematic?
just can't wait for just a
Gosh.
kid who has to just do child labor.
Yep. And then his backstory is just anybody that played that game for the first time was like, all right, and I got hit by a car. All right.
What if it is like a live, die, repeat style Disney's gritty adaptation where you just you drive through the pane of glass and you're just cut up and bleeding out, gagging for like 2 minutes before it starts over, and you're like, what?
That would be amazing.
Just children are crying in the theater.
Yeah. Because when it comes to like video game culminations and stuff like that, Wreck-It Ralph, that's really probably the one that did it best. Yeah, they did a really good job. That was a fun kind of like bunch of different like cameo crossovers, but still.
Yeah. Well, it had a lot of heart to it too.
Yeah.
And I think it used its own made up characters for like Ralph and
I'm fairly certain as well.
the Penelope. I think it was Penelope Sweets.
Yeah.
I love that that Sarah Silverman got to voice a kid's character because if you look up any of her stand up,
oh yeah, it's the opposite.
It's very funny because it's done very, very well, but it is a lot like Obama.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you could steal an election.
Yeah.
Some shit like that. You're like,
Yeah. I think it's Sarah Silverman falls in that weird category of like very quick to hop on the trend of saying, hey, this is a bad person for saying something. And then you look back at stuff that she's done and you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. She has a full skit in blackface.
She is never like, so it's the same thing where it's like if with like how, quote unquote cancel culture is now is if you back down from it, then they're like, oh, we got you. And then that's when it starts to affect. But if you're always like, no, I'm never, I don't apologize. I'm going to do more of the same shit.
Right.
Well, it's like, that's why Bill Burr
is very good at it.
He's because he doesn't apologize because he's not doing it to be mean.
Yeah.
But his sound bites sound mean.
Absolutely. But she does apologize for it.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. She's openly like, I will be better.
Oh.
And then there's more stuff that she says that's slightly better. But then in a couple years, like another thing happens.
Okay.
And it's just this weird cycle with her of like apology, bad thing, apology, bad thing. Because like I remember when she came out, I think it was, and we won't get into the weeds on this, but like all the Louis stuff that went down. Mm-hmm. And then it's like in the past, she had very blatantly came out and like joked and talked about stuff like this as nonchalant. And now suddenly it's a problem. And it's like, hey, where are you at? Because your stuff that you're saying is equally as atrocious. And then it's somebody else's problem. And now it's your problem. And it's just a weird thing.
Yeah. I mean, it could be one of those things where I don't know the ins and outs of it. They knew it happened, but they can't say anything directly. So they do this, or that's a coping mechanism. Like people are infinitely deep and varied. And it's hard, you can't boil it down to like good or bad.
Oh, for sure.
Yes,
For sure. But you just have to make sure.
I'm definitely not saying what Louis did was cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like I know people that he did that to personally, and it's not a fun thing.
Right. And my commentary is more on her reaction to it than opinion on the situation itself.
And you know what? I don't know enough about her side of things and what she said, so I don't have a comment.
For sure.
Fucking look out, internet. Have you tried doing that shit? Have you tried shutting the fuck up?
Yeah, for sure. And I guess my biggest takeaway from it is if you're going to draw a line in the sand, don't draw another one a little bit back and be like, no, it's been here the whole time. Like, that's my takeaway from it is if you have a clearly defined thing, it's defined at that point. Yeah. Don't keep walking it back and acting like you've always been there.
It's the always been there that bothers me. Because if you can go, I used to think that, and then I became a better, more evolved person, that's a good thing to be. That is a beacon to other people that might need to adjust. Yeah. To be like, oh, they did it. Look, I'm not a bad person forever, so I can get better,
Right. Well, there's this whole thing that it seems like nowadays a lot of people forget that life is about growth.
Yeah.
If you just popped out how you were always going to be, life would be hell. Like,
terrible.
The whole point of everything is, you can realize you're wrong, and that's okay.
I love being wrong.
Yeah.
Because it means that I have a chance to be better.
Yeah. Or double down.
Or, you know what? I'm a bit of a rambler, bit of a gambler. I've never doubled down on anything in my life. Pardon me while I take a drink of my birthday water.
Cool. I mean... That was unnecessary. That sounded like you were moving the microphone.
No, sorry.
Just a creak. Don't do
it. Well, there's our new favorite sound here at the Nerd News podcast. This is Tyler, I believe, sitting on 1,000 knives.
Ooh. No, that's Fat Kid with the tire swing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You fell off the slide and hit your shin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. If you want to hear the origin of that sound, check out our shorts.
And it's not porn.
No, it's not. It could be. It could be. Anything else nerdy you want to chat about?
I want to apologize for half this episode. Anything nerdy specifically? Not off the top of the head. There's some funny little things we'll talk about on Thursday.
Cool.
Especially like the game of the year thing.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me. We'll get into that more.
Ridiculous.
But what do you got coming up here, bud?
I don't have anything coming up. show wise, mostly just making sure everything here kind of falls into place because we're still working on the studio.
Yeah, we're getting things set up here. It's going to look pretty nice.
Yeah. How about
Well, I have a dentist appointment on Thursday.
you? Ooh, where at?
Unfortunately, no, I had some personal stuff, like just personal engagements and whatnot, like my birthday's in a couple of weeks. So other than that, no, I'm in Lafayette on the 16th of November at Knickerbocker's.
Okay.
And then some other stuff coming up down the pipeline. But yeah, if you're in Lafayette, Indiana, come by Knickerbockers. I'm headlining a show. I got a couple of really funny people on it. So
Nice.
come on out.
Cool. Well, thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, leave a review for whatever you're listening on. We're on a lot of different platforms. So, yeah, let us know what you think, especially if you were like, hey, we like this. You should talk more about this. Let us know. We'll talk about whatever you guys want. We really appreciate the feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. Please tell your friends, tell your family. We don't have any advertising. Tell everybody. Tell a dog. We'll see you guys on Thursday.